And the first topic is modal mixture. Now, your book, I think, calls it mode mixture. There's not a big difference between whether you say mode or you say modal, potato, right? But I kind of prefer modal, kind of make it an adjective out of it, right? Okay, so modal mixture. So what does that mean? Well, I like to do this with a ridiculous diagram. Can I draw the ridiculous diagram? One thing I learned yesterday is I need to kind of talk right into the laptop, so I'll try to do that. But okay, so here's our ridiculous diagram. So let's say we live in a neighborhood, and we all know neighborhoods, right? We all live in neighborhoods, or at least when you're living with your parent, right? You're living in a neighborhood, and it's nice suburban, somewhere in the suburbs. And so there's a house here, and I'm definitely not an artist. Doorknob, window. All right, and because we're in the suburbs, it's a larger house. It's a upscale McMansion. And okay, so and what do they have? They have a garage here, right? They probably have a two-door garage. Can we do that? Okay, so they got a garage, and so this house, this is the Majors, Mr. and Mrs. Major, on this side of the street. Okay, let me make that look like a J. And in the Major household, they have stuff, you know, like stuff in your garage, right? I remember my parents never had the actual 2 or 3 cars because at least 2/3 of the garage was filled with junk, right? Okay, so okay, so what do they have in their garage, right? Well, they got a lawnmower and they've got all kinds of stuff. They also have things like this, like a major 1 chord, right? Because this is the major family. And a minor 2, minor 3, 4, 5, 6, diminished 7, right? Okay, so that's just some of the stuff. And I'm tilted, but you know what it is. Some of it went off the screen, but you know what the chords are in the major, in the major family garage. And now they also have all kinds of 7th chords, right? So there's a lot of 7th chords, but we're not even going to list all of those, and other things as well, right? So okay, and then there's also the almost identical house on the other side, and they have their 2-door garage, 2-car garage, and this is the minor, so Mr. and Mrs. Minor on this side of the street. And now what do they have in their garage? Well, they have minor 1, right? Minor 1. And what kind of 2? Diminished 2, right? Major 3, right? Remember, major 3. Minor 4, 5. Well, that gets complicated. What kind of 5 chord normally happens in minor? Yeah, you could have either. That's exactly right. But their original minor was a minor 5, right? Okay, and then they've got major 6 and major 7, right? Major 7. Remember how the minor scale works. Okay, I know you guys didn't see all that at home, but you remember what's in the minor, the chords in the minor scale. All right, and let me move the screen a little bit. Okay, now, one day, they're talking, you know, they go out there, they're not really great friends, but they're they say hello, right? And so they're talking to each other, and I guess the major, the Mr. Major is saying, hey, I noticed you have that minor 4. It's a really great chord. Could I borrow that? So modal mixture, sometimes called borrowed chords. That's another name for this. You see now why this is a silly diagram, but I think a useful one. All right, so they say, okay, well, you can borrow our minor 4, because I know you don't have your own minor 4, but you can borrow minor 4, because minor 4 is my favorite chord. It's a really cool chord, it's underrated. And Okay, so but it said, but you have to give it back, right? You can't just keep it because it's ours, but you can borrow it. Okay, so what else could major borrow from minor? This is a good one, minor 4. What other options are there? Yes, 6, right? And what does 6 become if they borrow it? Yes. No, not quite. See, because it's not. Okay, let's say it's C major, and this is C minor. Okay, so when they borrow 6, and this is something, I guess it's not obvious, but it's the way we interpret this. It doesn't mean that they're doing an A major chord. It means they're doing an A flat chord, A flat major, because it's borrowed from minor. So what would we call an A flat major chord in C minor? We call it chromatic, right? But there's something I need to write. I shouldn't just write uppercase 6. An A flat major chord in C major. Now, we've never talked about this. This is why you don't immediately know. But what would it be? It would be flat 6.